Welcome to the Geek Homeworld. I am your host, Ed, aka Savage Tech Man. We talk sci-fi, TV, movies, superheroes, and all from a geek perspective. You can find us on Blogger, Google+, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're everywhere. Join the Geek Homeworld. Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Geek Homeworld. I'm your host, Ed Ciucevich, aka Savage Tech Man. That's my gamer tag. And we are back for an exciting episode. I was going to record this the other day out of the theater, but got busy, so wasn't able to do that. But this is going to be my John Wick Chapter 4 review. So, and plus, stick around till the end. That means listen to the end of this, and it won't be a long episode, I promise. We'll try to keep it nice and short, and I'll try to stay away from spoilers because there's still some people at the recording of this. This is Monday, March the 27th, 2023, when I'm recording this. Most people have seen it already that really were waiting, like me, to see this film that looks phenomenal, is phenomenal. But before I get into all that, stick around to the end. So I'm not doing spoilers. I'm going to try not to do spoilers. So here's your alert, just in case you haven't seen it yet. And in case I accidentally spoil it for you, you've been warned. So anyway, welcome to the Geek Homeworld podcast. We talk about TV and film, a lot of other things. Got, like I said, a special announcement towards the end of the episode. So please stick around for that, whether you're listening on wherever you get your podcasts, like Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts. We're Geek Homeworld on all of those, and many other, places that you can get your audio podcast. But you'll, of course, hear this and see this video version on our YouTube channel, Geek Homeworld. And if you're watching the video, you're seeing all that information for our Instagram, our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. You can go to all those places. I ask you to go there, like, subscribe, smash that like button, whatever you got to do. It really makes a difference, and we really appreciate it here at the channel. And I hope my number's right. I've got episode 162, so even though I took literally a year, a couple episodes back, I mentioned it. It's been a year, right before our Oscars show. Basically, I took an entire year off, and a lot was going on. So anyway, I don't want to leave this episode too front-loaded with where I've been. We'll get into that later if I have to. It's no big deal. It's nothing big, nothing major. I just was busy, real busy with stuff, but feels good to be back in my creative spot, and I have a new city, a new creative spot. So you're going to be hearing a lot of interesting new content. I've got planned up a lot of things that are in the works, and a lot of different people coming on the podcast here. So I'm excited about that. But stay tuned for the announcement at the end of this, okay? But anyway, let's just jump right in. We're talking about John Wick 4, and if you're watching the video, you can see some of the screenshots I got here from Box Office Mojo. Just pulling it up. Actually, it's from Google. John Wick Chapter 4. We've got the people in there. Keanu Reeves is John Wick. Donnie Yen, who plays Kane, who is just about steals every scene he's in. There's so many good players in this film. And you've got Scott McAdams as Killa, Bill Skarsgard. He is, and I can't say this. I've got to click on this real quick. He plays the. I can't say it. I can't find it either. I don't know. I don't care who he's married to. He is the Marquis. I'm not saying it right. Marquis de Gramont. my French is not good, does a fantastic job. We have Akira, who's totally kicked butt in this film. You're gonna wait for that. She's Kane's, not Kane's daughter, but she's in this as well. You have the always awesome Ian McShane, who plays Winston, and he's head of the New York Continental, I think it is. They're already talking about a John Wick 5, hopefully. They're talking about a Wick series, or a Wick universe, I should say, like a John Wick universe. And we already know that Lance Reddick, who we lost very recently, and whom John Wick Chapter 4 is dedicated to. He plays the Chiron. He's the concierge at the hotel there, and he is we lost him in real life. He just passed away. You know him from so many different shows. He was in all the John Wicks. He's in Ballerina, which is going to be a spinoff in the John Wick universe, and they're already in talks to do a Ballerina 2. So there may be some other stuff, but the fabulous Lance Reddick that we lost, he was in Fringe. It says from 2008 to 2013, and John Wilco and other things. It was sad to lose him. I'm just taking a moment there. But we have, forgive me on the next gentleman's, the actor's name is Hiroyuki Sanada. Anybody knows me knows I'm not good with some names, but he plays Shimazu of the Tokyo. Forgive me, is it the Tokyo Continental? And his daughter in the film is the character of Akira, played by Rina Sawayama. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing correctly. The always awesome Laurence Fishburne. It's nice having Neo, the one, Keanu Reeves, and having Laurence Fishburne as the Bowery King, and John Wick Chapter 4. It's good having them both on screen together. And I know they're not the Matrix characters, but Morpheus and Neo, the one. But it's good to have them in there. Bridget Moynihan's in there. Halle Berry? Was Halle Berry up in there? Okay, that was some of the earlier ones. Okay, but anyway, we're just I'm getting off track here. But how did John Wick Chapter 4 do box office wise? Well, let's look at what Box Office Mojo has to say about it. And John Wick Chapter 4 opened with $73,817,950, and I think those are estimated. I mean, that might be confirmed because we're on Monday. Usually the Monday numbers are confirmed, but we're basically 73.8 million. We'll just say. And how did that fare with others in the genre there? This is the highest opening John Wick, and here's the tagline. John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. And the fabulous Keanu Reeves. I tell you what, I know Tom Cruise does his stunts, and I know Keanu does a lot of his stunts. He, of course, has a stunt double, but he totally kicks butt in this film. And if you're not a John Wick fan, then you're missing out. I was a latecomer to the John Wick franchise. I came along with the last one, John Wick 3 Parabellum, which was so intense. And I originally had watched the first John Wick, and then they killed his beagle. Yeah, so and I jumped right off there. I was like, oh, I can't. And but then I went back and watched the first one and John Wick, uh, the second one, number two, and then of course I was on board for Parabellum, like I said, and I've been waiting for this. I thought it would be a really good um, thing, a film, and it did not disappoint. I'm telling you, a lot of things that stood out to me. The cinematography, what a beautiful movie this is. This is easily in my top 10 for 2023, John Wick Chapter 4. It's more than just endless fights. There's probably 4 to 5 fight scenes. Some of them are 10 to 20, 25 minutes long. They're incredibly choreographed. If you needed a reason other than every Tom Cruise film with him doing his own stunts and, of course having other people doing stunts, but generally doing his own stunts, if that wasn't reason enough for you, which it is, for there to be an Oscar category, an awards category, and all awards shows for stuntmen and women, then you, after watching John Wick Chapter 4, you're definitely going to say this needs to be a contender, if not a winner, somewhere for for stunts, which is choreography as well, and they are just amazing, very amazing film. It's a lot of fun. I wouldn't wait to go see this for another reason. I wouldn't wait for this to show up on a streaming service or whatever. I would highly suggest you go to a theater if you can get in an IMAX, if you can get in a very good theater that has a wonderful sound system like I was privileged to do, then you should do it because the sound design in this was very good. It not just the cinematography, not just the fighting, the action sequences with choreographed fights and all of that, the stunt work involved, but also the sound design. So you've got the whole package here. You couldn't ask for a film that is an intelligent film. It's just not, endless fights, if that's what you're wondering. Are there a lot of fights? Yes, of course. It's John Wick. That's the core of what it is. And he doesn't have to say much. His actions definitely will take care of most situations. John Wick will in the film, and he's up against insurmountable odds, and John Wick Chapter 4 is so much fun. If you're looking for a fun film, we're in March, end of March, or basically April at this point. So we're knocking on the door, of the summer season. And we're going to have all these tentpole releases. This, to me, is a tentpole release. I tell you what, this is a film I thoroughly enjoyed. You should go out and see this film in a good theater with a good sound system, with, wonderful projection capabilities. So, even if you got to go IMAX, you don't have to do IMAX in this, but it certainly enhances it. And IMAX, Big D, whatever needs to be your choice of theater experience, that's what you need to go out and do, because John Wick Chapter 4 is worth it. And the box office was, like I said, $73.8 million. We have replacing Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which fell to number 3, which is an unmitigated disaster financially. It only pulled in $9.3 million. It dropped 69%. Not good for DC. I feel bad for Zachary Levi, who I think is a good Shazam. Have I gone to see the movie? I had an opportunity to go see it, and I I just didn't want to do it. I found something else to do. And I don't normally feel that way about films, and I still want to see Shazam! Fury of the Gods. But I was going to podcast about it, but I didn't think it would be fair to podcast about it if I had not seen it and judged for myself. I don't listen to what the critics do or those people that jump on the woke or anti-woke wagon or whatever, or the, automatic hate button or whatever it is. I like to watch films, and judge them myself. And these are my personal feelings, no one else's but mine. And I just haven't really wanted to see Shazam even from the beginning. I'd see it, but I don't know. When it came down to it, I just found something else I wanted to do that was, I don't know if it was even better or more exciting, but it seemed to be better than actually going to the theater and seeing Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And I think they could have done a better job of marketing. I know that's the feeling that Zachary Levi has. There's a lot been going on in the film industry, a lot of speaking out about things that are happening. We also have, knowing that there are no stakes in this, really, even with the cameo appearance that it's already been leaked on the internet, and it's been 3 weeks at this point, so it doesn't really matter with Shazam! Fury of the Gods, but I hate to see it not succeed, but it's going to be a bomb. It already is financially. They're going to lose money on this film, and it's a shame because it could have been a better thing. What they should have done is take Black Adam and put him into this film and have him fight Shazam, like in the comics. And I tell you, having The Rock in there, though we know that all the talk about The Rock and everything, and not he wanting to fight Henry Cavill, and I wanted Henry Cavill as much as the next person to be in the DC universe, but I think right now DC's having a multitude of issues, and right now Marvel's having a few of their own, so nobody goes unscathed these days apparently. And but I believe they're both going to right their ships. They're going to be able to turn things around, or at least I hope so, because I like superhero films. I love action adventure type of films, and I like talking about them, and I like experiencing them, and it's a shame. But anyway, so the number 2 film was actually a film I enjoyed. A friend of mine saw it and thought it was okay, and it could have had more action, more fighting in it, but we talked about it. We did. You're gonna want to go back and listen to my Creed 3 review. I think that's episode 161, I believe. Anyway, you'll see it on our feed here at Geek Homeworld. Just check it out wherever you can get your podcast, or you can check it out on our Geek Homeworld YouTube channel, because there's a video up there for it too. And thank you for all the positive feedback and comments. Keep them coming on that episode and others. And but anyway, Creed 3 fell. Actually, it went up this past week since Shazam fell from 3 to 1. It went from 3 to 2, so it bumped up a little bit, and it did 10.4 million. Creed 3 right there, you can see at the box office, 10.4 million. And then we have Shazam falling from 1 to 3 with 9.3 million. Scream 6 is going to turn a profit here. It's fell from 2 to 4. It pulled in another 8.3 million, dropping almost 52%, which those are typical drops. The film 65 that had Adam Driver star in it is probably going to lose money. It dropped 45%, and it's, I think, second week here. Not doing so well. And then we have the mess of Ant-Man And The Wasp: Quantumania, which fell out of the top 5, it slipped from 5 to number 6, only 2.4 million. They pulled it out of another 700 theaters there. It dropped 43% this past weekend. Number 6, we got Cocaine Bear dropping for number 6, pulling in just $2 million. It's success already. Jesus Revolution down from 7 to 8. It's a 43% drop, but that film's still doing quite well. 1.9 million on that. Champions fell from 8 to 9, 1.5, but it's on its way down. And maybe the last week for Avatar: The Way of Water, as long as it's been in the top 10. It fell a notch from 9 to 10 with 1.3 million this weekend. Puss in Boots dropped out, just under $1 million there. And so that's a bit of the box office there. Let's see if I can, give me just a second here, if I can, fiddle-faddling around with things here. Let's see if I can get this to go. It's not going to do what I want it to do. Okay, well, alrighty then. Well, let's just go to our next tab. Let's talk some more about John Wick here. So we grossed 73.8 million, about almost 54% of its domestic gross. That's its domestic gross. Internationally, 64 million, which is healthy, and worldwide 137.8 million. So that's a pretty good haul for an opening weekend for John Wick Chapter 4. And let's see, franchise rankings. I want to click on this real quick and see if I can get my computer to work here. It's not going to show me. Is it going to show me that? Yeah, John Wick. That's what I said. Nope, it's not going to show me that. Okay, we have an error. Okay, then we'll move on from there. Let's look at the domestic box office for 2023. It's still a runaway hit. I don't think Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania can catch it, but Avatar: The Way of Water right now at $279.3 million for the year. And even though it was released in 2022, because we're in 2023, I almost said 2023, we're in 2024, but no, we're in 2023. Anyway, it's pulled in 680 million, which is very good. Not as good as the first Avatar. And when you put it up against Top Gun Maverick, it's going to remain over 700 million domestic. It's going to remain the number one. They both came out in 2022. It's going to remain the number one film of 2022. And of course, busting over $1 billion. Both of them are $1 billion international / worldwide, or whatever, worldwide. Both of those films, Top Gun Maverick and Avatar: The Way of Water, they're in the $1 billion plus club, and both well deserved. I enjoyed both films. Maverick, of course, was fantastic, and couldn't be happier for Tom Cruise. And I'm looking forward to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning when it comes out. That, along with Oppenheimer, is going to be two of my films I'm definitely looking forward to this year, and hopefully there'll be some more that'll surprise me. We'll talk about that as we go through the year a little bit farther. But number one for 2023, just in the calendar year, Avatar: Way of the Water, and it's picked up 279 in this calendar year. So Ant-Man and the Wasp at 209.8 million, basically 210 million for the year. It still can make some, but I don't think it's going to make much more since it's falling and Disney's pulling it out of theaters. It'll be on Disney Plus before you realize. Creed 3, already released March 3rd. It is already at 140 million. I don't know if it'll catch Ant-Man's 210 million domestic, but it's going to put a little bit more on there, and it's done well. And I'm just we looked at this before. It's done 246 million worldwide, 105.9 international, 140.8 domestic, and that's a 57-42 split essentially. And I don't have. Okay, I can't find it, so not trying to find it there. But so we've got that with Creed 3, Puss in Boots, number 4 for the year with 128. Megan, which I did not get a chance to see in theaters. I'm not sure if it's even still playing in theaters, but it's to rent or buy or whatever on streaming services. And I actually want to check that out. I've heard good things. It's about 95 million for the year. Scream 6 is already pulling in the 6th spot at this point, 89 million. Of course, we've got Fast X or Fast and Furious, Fast 10 or Fast X coming out very soon. That's going to probably come out with a franchise that just keeps going. And they say this is the last one, but we'll see. If it pulls in a ton of money, it may not be. But we've got some big tentpole movies. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to be, I think, a big hit for Disney. A rare big hit this year. I'm not so sure about some of the other ones. The way it's looking, we'll see. With the Marvels getting pushed back to November, we'll see where things land as we go through the year together. And anywho, so John Wick Chapter 4 in its first weekend is popping on the domestic charts for 2023 with 73.8 million at number 7. So A Man Called Otto, which I didn't get to see, but I heard good things about it, and then it had enough legs to stick around several months. Since December 30th, it's opening 64 million for the year, so not bad for another Tom, not Tom Cruise. Oh Lord, what's his name? Doing 109 million worldwide. Tom Hanks, thank you. I'm saying thank you to myself. Cocaine Bear, number 9 for the year with 62 million. Who saw it coming? And number 10, right now at 49 million. It might get eclipsed by Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It's on its heels, but at 49 million versus the 45.9 of Shazam! Jesus Revolution is the number 10 film of the year as of the recording of this podcast, March 27th, 2023. So what else do we have going on here? John Wick Chapter 4 has a 138 million global launch, so pretty awesome there. There's really cool pictures. That's just one of the awesome fight scenes there. That's like maybe your 3rd or 4th fight scene in the film. It's incredible. And this is coming to us from Deadline. And let's see. John Wick Chapter 4 grossed 137.5 million in its debut. Of that, 64 million is estimated from 71 international box office markets. All were number 1 starts and cumulatively are 73% above John Wick 3 Parabellum's 2019 launch. And you don't usually see the 4th film in a franchise do so well. And I think they adjusted for inflation, and even when they adjusted for inflation, and inflation's really high and crazy now, and hopefully it won't get worse. But it's the highest grosser of the John Wick franchise, Chapter 4. So that is fantastic. So, a lot going on there. Now, we're getting close to the end of the podcast episode here. I want to thank everybody who's listened and all that. And I've got the special announcement. We have Splorin. That's SPLORIN apostrophe. And on some of the social media, it won't have the apostrophe. But if you just look us up on YouTube, it'll actually take you to the Geek Homeworld YouTube page that's hosting Splorin. What Splorin is my wife and I, Cheryl, we're doing, we came up on the fly with this idea. We've kind of had an idea like this, and we just came up with it and said, we're going to just do a weekly podcast where we talk about fun places that we've been or places we plan to go, whether it's somewhere we went to eat. Since moving here to Augusta, Georgia, I'm not knowing anything about Augusta, and moving up here, I'm enjoying the experiences, the local places. We've had some very generous people tell us, different people tell us places we ought to try and things we ought to go see. But we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. Just basically look for Sploring with Us. It's called Sploring, Splorin, comma, like exploring, but Sploring. It's short for that. I just always kind of say Sploring. Let's go exploring. Let's jump in the car and go exploring. Let's go take a walk and go exploring. Let's go here and go exploring. So, we just decided to start a little podcast on that, a weekly podcast, and called Sploring with Us. So Sploring with Us. We're on all the major. You should find us on all the major thing. Now, we may not show up. I was thinking about this on Apple Podcast. We will show up under Geek Homeworld, so it's going to show up there. I'm pretty sure on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcast. It's going to be on the Geek Homeworld podcast, the Geek Homeworld feed. So wherever you get your podcast, you're going to see Sploring episode 1 show up March 25th or 3/25/23. That'll be the title of it. But just look for Sploring. You can Google it like I did here. If you're watching the video, you can see there's our video showing up on YouTube and all that. So we'd love some new. We've gotten a lot of great new followers. We do have a Blogger on Blogspot. We do have, or we will have. I actually launched it quicker than Cheryl wanted me to do it, so I got so excited about the new podcast. It's like I just got to get it out there. I want people to see it and hear it. So usually they're going to be about 15-minute episodes. I think the first one was maybe 13 minutes or so. So they're not super long. They're something you can easily digest, and they're just fun. They're, nice places, and it'll be new places, but it'll be some places we'll talk about on certain episodes. We'll talk about, because you can't always, with jobs and everything else you got to do in life, you got to live. You can't always go out every weekend here or there or every week and have an adventure. So we'll talk about some previous adventures. We've already shared some pictures on the Facebook page, on our Instagram, and you can like, subscribe, hit all those buttons you're supposed to hit, and check all those checks you're supposed to check or whatever, and smash those buttons and all that. And we really appreciate it. And tell your friends about us, and send us your really nice and kind comments. We've already gotten plenty already, and we're thankful for all of those. We're thankful for our listeners, and we've got a really cool 2 places that we decided to go, a place we decided to eat, and a fun activity that I had never done. And so I'm not very artistic, I'll tell you that much. But when you watch the video, you'll see some of the before and during. And this Friday, I get to pick up, as the recording of this Friday, they're going to bake at this place called Artsy Me. They're going to bake what I painted. So I went in there and said I want the most audacious colors, because that's kind of like my personality. I just want the loudest colors that you have. So I'm excited about that. So we're going to have that on the podcast there. So Sploring with Us. Please check it out. Please like, subscribe, follow, listen along, watch the videos on the Geek Homeworld YouTube channel. And we'll have that as long as with comment on our Geek Homeworld YouTube channel. We need some more subscribers, and I need you guys to spread the word for us. We're building the community of people. And here's part of thing I'm playing with. I'm looking at adding additional podcasts to Geek Homeworld. So Geek Homeworld, as I originally envisioned it as a podcast when I started it in 2014, I envisioned it to be almost like a network of podcast shows. And so I'm looking for people. I'm going to be very picky about it, of course, and seeing if it's a right fit for the Geek Homeworld brand. But on our Geek Homeworld site and especially our YouTube channel, I hope to have some other podcasters, maybe some you haven't even encountered, and with different types of shows. So is this a new idea that's no, I had this idea probably 10 years ago, and people used to do stuff, tried like networks and have different shows that would come together. And I've got got a good friend of mine I used to podcast with, and we've been talking extensively about doing some collabs. I'm going to try to bring back some more live streaming on this channel and try to make some time for that in between work and everything else there is to do in life. And, so that's fun. So anyway, I'm running a little bit long here. I promised I wouldn't go too long. So what are your thoughts on John Wick Chapter 4? If you've seen it, please let us know your thoughts in the comments here, whether you're listening to this on wherever you listen to your podcasts, whether it's Google Podcasts, which is one of my favorites, Apple Podcasts. I can't think of any other podcast places, wherever you listen. Whether you're watching it on the geekhomeworld.libsyn.com, that's our main website that hosts our podcast services. If you don't use Libsyn there and you're thinking of starting a podcast, that's a great place to start. I've even got all of our shows are on there, and plus on our podcast feed that we've been doing since I think 2014. And with me taking about a year off, I really didn't get to celebrate. At some point, I feel like I'm gonna celebrate, like maybe when it comes up in September, which isn't, well, that's some months away. That'll be, I guess, our 8th or 9th year, something like that. I'm not doing math right now. I refuse to. And but anyway, we'll be celebrating some more. We're gonna have a lot of good times coming on this podcast. So thank you very much for following us on the journey here. Go see John Wick Chapter 4 in theaters, in a nice theater. Pay a little bit extra if you need to. Heck, eat before you leave. Save that money so you won't spend it on snacks and everything else. Even though you should really spend it on snacks and everything else, because that does help the theaters, and we need to keep the theater experience alive, and you are part of that, making that theater experience still be a vibrant thing. So support your local theaters, support theaters, and let's keep them open, let's keep them going, and let's continue to be able to enjoy that film experience. If you're like me, you really enjoy the experience of being in a theater and experiencing the sound, the sight, the sound. This is the film you've been looking for. The sight, the sound, the cinematography is beautiful. The choreography in this, the action sequences are top level, and I highly suggest this film. Totally loved John Wick Chapter 4. And I'm looking forward to number 5. I'm looking forward to the ballerina spinoff. I'm looking forward to whatever else they want to bring us in the John Wick universe. So Keanu, he's such a great guy, and he's such a good human, and he's just really, it's really good to see him being successful and enjoying what he's doing. And people like him, people like Tom Cruise, that are keeping the industry going and helping bring in those dollars, that are keeping the theaters open, that are keeping it a great experience. So anyway, go check out John Wick 4 and This wonderful, awesome dude, Keanu Reeves. Everybody loves him. And anyway, go see it. And if you're want to pay tribute, and it won't be the last film he's in, but you want to go see Lance Reddick in one of his most high-profile roles, very talented individual. Show him some love out of respect, and go see John Wick Chapter 4. But you're going to love this film. You're going to love everything about it, I think. So let us know in the comments, and thank you. Please like, subscribe, follow, share this video, tell your friends, and that's it. That's all I got for now. So we will see you again on the Geek Homeworld podcast. And I don't know if I played the intro on this. I forgot to on one of them. I don't know. Anyway, here's the outro, and thank you for listening to the Geek Homeworld podcast with your host, Ed Ciucevich. Y'all take care, and see you at the movies. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Geek Homeworld with your host, Savage Tech Man. You can find us on Libsyn, Google+, follow and interact with us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, listen to us on iTunes and leave a review, subscribe to us on YouTube, read our thoughts on Blogger. See you again on the Geek Homeworld.